now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch. This is episode 443. I didn't say the episode number. Today I'm here with my diurnal co-host. Well, actually one's diurnal. The other one's nocturnal. Very much so. She just happens to be on the other side of the planet, so it makes life work out. So I've got the Fluffiest Whimsicott with us today.
Who was up at 6 this morning? Ye of little faith.
I have little faith, yes.
Honestly, it's like I would have been still in bed, but I have cats. So.
And then we've got a new challenger for the main show. You've probably heard him on Battlecast spitting some knowledge, but we've got Clod9.
Hello.
There we go. Perfect. So we've got a show for you today. We forgot to tell Clod the topic, but that'll be fine. It'll work out. And welcome to the PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name I came up with in 2007. But now these guys got suckered into hanging out with me.
It's such a drag.
I know.
Yeah.
We talk everything from the video game to the trading card game and everything in between. Is there much in between anymore? I don't know. And yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. I've been having a good week in Pokemon, actually. What about you guys? What have you guys been up to?
Mostly, I just did the timed research in Pokemon Go.
That's reasonable, though. That was fun. Pokemon Go has done so many things that have made the game way more playable since COVID. I'm not going to lie.
Yes.
Like, if there's a silver lining to COVID, it's Pokemon Go made itself more playable.
Yes.
See, I dropped off Pokemon Go once COVID started. Like, if I can't go out and travel, there's no point.
So they made a lot of things so you don't have to travel.
I was literally not allowed to go out and play for most of the last few months. And I did the entirety of the time research from my house. So.
You can. Yeah, because they like extended incense hours and how effective incense is.
Oh, wow.
They doubled the distance to interact with Pokestops and gyms, which was really nice. Actually, that in general, without like COVID, is just a really nice thing because it's just a couple of like it gets rid of the whole like your character glitched out and walked away from something issue. Mm-hmm. It just gets rid of that. Like that's not a problem anymore.
Well, that's good
because they double the distance. It's really nice. And also the remote raid passes are actually really nice too.
Yes,
those are really nice.
I really like those.
Yeah.
And the only disappointing part about that was that with all of those research reward encounters, I did not get a single shiny.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get one either.
See,
I didn't get one either.
That's not on. I mean, there's supposed to be, a better chance of being shiny. But I don't know if they turned it off for the event in order not to flood the market with shinies or something.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's usually a higher chance like when they get new ones. Yeah, so it is what it is. I don't know. I did the timed research. I've been doing a few other things as well. I mean, I really like the giveaway they did this last week with like the Mr. Mime and everything else.
The Ponyta is now live. It's my favorite.
Yeah, the Ponyta's live. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I don't know, like just doing little things like that, just being excited for Isle of Armor with like all the little leaks that are coming out, or little data mines. Like those are nice and crunchy. They're not super exciting, but they're crunchy. We
have at worst case probably a month until it comes out.
I mean, yeah, right now. I mean, we're talking on like May 30th, and they said by the end of June. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like June 19th. Like something around there, because that's where like if you follow the path of like their little giveaways they're announcing, like that's when it would wrap up. So I wouldn't be surprised if June 19th was where it kind of got dropped. I do expect second half of June as opposed to like first half of June.
Definitely at this point.
And if you follow the release schedule, it's going to be a Friday, and usually the second to last weekend in June. So 19 or 26 are most likely.
Yeah. So I'm not too worried about it. Like I think by the end of June we'll get it. To be fair, I don't know if it's just because I've been growing up more or not. I'm just not as impatient. I want it. I obviously want it, but like I've waited this long for it already. I mean, it's been I think 5 months since the announcement about this point, and like I've waited this long. Like, what's another month? I can do it.
Yeah.
Time's just a construct. I can make it another month. I'm very excited though for it. I am very, very excited to see I Love Armor come out. We also did the YouTube thing this week with Whimsicott and Clod. Clod edits most of those, by the way, in case none of you noticed. But Clod edits most of those. And but yeah, that's coming out. I think Whimsicott's episode started on Friday. Yes.
Maybe. And
I need to upload them for Clod. I need to give them to Clod. I'll do that today. I'll get to those for you because we've got like the next 4 of them lined up and then we're going to get some more. I'm very excited. Because those are just fun. Those are just fun, good time things on the YouTube, youtube.com/puclpodcast. You should go over there and watch it. We're so close. We're less than 300 hours away from getting repartnered.
Ooh.
300 watch hours. Yeah, I'm very excited. Like this is going to happen. Like this has been climbing up pretty quick too. Like over the past, I think we started this like 3 weeks ago.
Easily by the end of Fire Red, you'll have it.
Oh yeah, I think by the end of June we'll have it without a problem.
Awesome.
I think even by the beginning of June, but it's very possible. And I mean, I appreciate everybody who watches it and comments and like tells us like, hey, good job. Because most of the time when I make YouTube content, people are just like, well, I wish it was a little bit different, Thatch. And it's really the thing. And that's like why I stop most of the time, because people are just like, oh, this isn't exactly what I want. I wish you would do this instead. And then the problem is it's not like a general consensus of wishing you would do something different. It's just like 50 different people wishing it was 50 different ways. And then it's just like, well, that's discouraging because it's not like it's going to increase viewership or overall happiness. And like, I generally enjoy just doing the Fire Red Nuzlocke. I just like doing the Nuzlockes and I like hanging out with my friends while I do it.
It's so much fun. So much fun.
I just like hanging out with my friends. So that works out. I think after Whimsicott, it's going to be Scrawn too, because I've got a session lined up with Scrawn. So if you're a Scrawn fan, you can get your fill. And then I think we're going to be able to fit up most of the like main cast of the co-host on there before we hit Elite Four.
Nice.
I think we'll be able to do it. I think it'll be doable. We'll see how it goes. But on that note, I guess this is a good place to wrap it up. We do have some news to talk about, so let's kick it on over to the news.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. In the news, we've got a few things to talk about. A lot of things have happened. Not only we mentioned the Galarian Ponyta giveaway, which is happening right now with its hidden ability of anticipation. Sure.
Yeah, exciting.
As well as a level ball, fastball, love ball, friend ball, and beast ball.
Now that I can be excited about.
Yeah,
that's more exciting, I think, than the Ponyta.
I mean, the Ponyta is nice if you're like in Sword and you haven't yet found someone to trade with. But it's also nice. Like, I was playing Shield this morning and I downloaded it and it's level 15 and it's just right to go through the game at the point that I was at. So
actually, I'm okay with that. That makes sense to me. I'm into that.
Also, I just found out that one of my cats is actually in this room. He was hidden somewhere and he's now walking on my desk. I hope he doesn't click any buttons on my... Okay. Off you go, okay. Off you go. I'm sorry. I was afraid he was going to stop the recording.
Who doesn't love cats? And then Pokemon Go has a bajillion things happening because the throwback research is over, unfortunately. So if you missed out on that, I'm sorry, I guess. I don't know. But they announced new events because this week, I believe, starting on June 1st, they're going to have the event for all of the Galarian Pokemon if you finish the throwback event or if you buy the pass to do it. So you can get like Galarian Meowth, Galarian Darumaka, I believe, Galarian Stunfisk, because that's a Pokemon.
Yep. Yeah.
And then Galarian Zigzagoon. So keep that in mind.
I just
that should be
can't
happening
get
this
over
week.
Galarian Stunfisk being a thing. Like, why?
It's fine. The only reason I'm happy about it is because it's not a Gen 1 Pokemon. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest. Look how many Gen 1 Pokemon still got Galarian forms. Like, it's still like 50% of the Galarian forms were Gen 1 Pokemon.
True.
And then bunch of Gen 5.
Yeah, random. Well, if you look at that game, like, just the Pokedex and Sword and Shield is the thing that I found very interesting was it was very heavy on, like, the later Pokemon, like Gen 5 to 7. It was very heavy on that.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of like a few of like the big names in like earlier generations, there wasn't a lot of representation. Gen 1 even included to an extent. There were just like a lot of Pokemon missing. I mean, it's just very noticeable. And I don't know why we got Manectric and Yamper in the same game. Doesn't make sense, but it's fine. You do you, Pokemon. You do. They've also announced some new events that are going to happen in Pokemon Go. The first is the Solstice event, which is going to run from June 19th to June 24th, local time. I don't exactly know what that means. It's probably going to be like Solrock and Lunatone swap places or something. And then the Bug Out event will run from June 26th to July 1st. The full details have yet to be announced. Also, the next Research Breakthrough Award has been announced for those of you who are just like, man, I can't wait to get something really cool, because remember, Moltres used to be a Research Breakthrough Award and stuff like that. And so we've got the legendary Trapinch.
Oh, the legendary Trapinch.
To be fair, it's better than the Flower Crown Eevee that we had for like 2 months.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with Trapinch over Flower Crown Eevee. At least it's like one of those harder to catch Pokemon. I also think people like us who've been playing, like a lot of us have been playing since 2016. I think that's been a real problem. Just because we're just like, well, we already have Trapinch. I go, yeah, but if my little brother were to start playing Pokemon Go now, how's he going to get anything?
Yeah, since he missed the community day.
He missed community days. He's missed not just community days, but he's also just like, he missed like all of the gens being prominent.
Yeah, like
at some
this
point,
throwback event was all about that.
Yeah, the throwback event was all about that, and I was really pleased with the throwback event and the way it was handled. So just keep that up, TPCI. Keep that up. Zekrom is going to be coming to raid battles starting in June 17th. Right now, it's Reshiram, so that's really cool as well. I know, like, that just got like a lot of people hyped as like the 5-star raids like switched to Reshiram and Zekrom. Like the number of people that freaked out about that, I didn't understand until just now.
It's Reshiram and Zekrom. Hello, Thatch. They're really cool.
Yeah, box legendaries.
I mean, I guess so, but like for me, I'm just like, yeah, cool, that's Reshiram. Yeah, cool, that's Zekrom.
But they have unique typings.
No?
No.
Turtonator would like to have a talk with you.
Yeah.
You're right, but when they first came out, they were unique.
When they first came out, yes.
So
not
was
anymore.
Whimsicott.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, not when it came out.
In Gen 6.
You know what I mean. In Gen 6.
In Gen 6, it was a unique type. That's true. Because Skiploom was also grass
And so was
flying.
Tropius.
Thatch! I knew you were going to say that.
So, yeah, that's fairly exciting. And a new TCG set's coming out. It's going to include a Galarian Slowbro V card. Because reasons. They said it's going to, but we don't know what it looks like.
Well, that confirms Galarian Slowbro isn't going to be in Isle of Armor.
We know that. They told us that.
Yes. Yep.
They told us that. If you have a fancy phone and you play Pokemon Go, you can build a little 3D map and have Pokemon hide behind real-life objects. That's something. I'm sure it won't be buggy.
No.
The Community Day votes have been tallied. And there is the next Community Day has been announced to be Weedle.
Well,
it's going to be Weedle. Yes, starting on June 20th.
People really want Niantic to release more shinies.
Yes. There's also a code right now to redeem 50 Pokeballs BT dubs if you haven't already. And yeah, so the July Pokemon Go Community Day is going to be Ghastly, which already has a shiny. Everybody's just it was like a really poopy situation because they've kind of watered down Community Days as well. But again, it's one of those things where I'm like, what about new players? Let's think about the new players. Right, because I couldn't catch a Weedle right now if I went out in normal conditions. Like it's very hard to catch
Weedles
a Weedle
in months.
Yeah, you can't see Weedle unless you play if you play in normal conditions. I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's just one of those things. If you look online, a lot of the outrages, a lot of the quote unquote veteran / legacy players right? The game's 4 years old at this point, and that creates some issues.
Yeah.
I remember when it first came out, that was the way to power level, was just to catch a whole bunch of Weedles and evolve them all.
Well, you can do that now. Every generation includes something that's like 12 candy to evolve, and you just do that. I think right now, because like Unova's the really hot one right now, and Unova, I think it. Well, no, it's not Sawaddle. There's another one. It's not Venipede either. I don't know. Maybe Unova doesn't have one, and I lied. Let's see. So the Throwback Champion research, that's what I talked about earlier. You can go ahead and purchase a ticket for that if you haven't completed it. BT dubs. Well, I guess this is like a week old. Never mind. But if you have completed it, you do get 10 candies for all of your encounters, and you buy the ticket. You get extra candy, I guess. Yeah. And it also has a Genesect, so I'm buying it for Genesect.
I mean, that's a good enough reason.
Yeah, I didn't buy it the original time because it was like right when COVID started, and I'm like, I don't want to support Pokemon Go until I hear how this works. And then it was just like, oh, it's working pretty well, and I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I'll do it. I'll jump on the bandwagon. So that is, I think that's it for most of the news right now. Yeah, everything's been going pretty swimmingly. I think Puckle-wise, we still don't have much going on right now. I think we've wrapped up PFTT finally. We do have Summer League coming up. We're waiting for Isle of Armor to drop. I'm just going to say that. I know I said it on the show before, but I want to say it again. Just so everybody's aware. We're waiting for Isle of Armor to drop because we want to have, a bigger pool of Pokemon. I think that's the biggest reason. And we don't have to adjust like halfway through the Summer League. So Summer League's going to be like actual summer this year.
Instead of late spring league.
Instead of late spring. So we'll have more details on that when that happens.
And isn't there going to be a mini tournament in between?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. We do have a super meta moment. We do have a staff meeting happening next week, so we're going to get a lot more things ironed out, and there's definitely more things in the pipeline that should be solidified next week. All right. On that note, though, guys, we are going to kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. And welcome to Puckle's Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. Today we've got Clod and Whimsicott operating together as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions from the Discord server. The Discord server, nowhere else, just the Discord server. All of these questions curated from, you got it, the Discord server. All right, link to the Discord server is in the show notes. Please don't give me questions literally anywhere else. Because I don't curate them. Our good friend Ribby curates them for me.
And he only looks for them in the appropriate channel.
Well, it's mostly because he doesn't have access to all of the channels that I have access to. And because Ribby's not perusing our iTunes reviews looking for a trivia question. I'll tell you that much.
He should be.
No, he shouldn't.
No.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't. But this segment, as always, is brought to you by AnimeGravy.com, your one-stop shop for anything cool and anime-related, or just nerd-related. It's just nerd-related at this point, and I'm okay with that.
Anything real. I'm wearing one of their shirts right now.
I have one of their posters in the office right now. I really like it. And so you, too, can become a winner whenever a co-host hits 30 points, they will win a $20 credit to PokemonCenter.com. And you, the listener, if you submit a trivia question that gets read on the show, will get a $20 credit, or entered into a raffle for a $20 credit to AnimeGravy.com. So submit your trivia questions over on the Discord server. On to the questions, though. Today, Clod and Whimsicott are going to be operating as a team to answer 5 questions, each worth 1 point apiece, except for the time it's not. And for a possible total of 7, because there's like a rule with the hint that we have and things that I don't think anybody pays attention to the rules when I say them, so I'm just gonna stop.
Really?
There are rules.
Yeah, people tell me all the time they get confused about how the points work, and they can't keep track of it.
That just means you have to explain it more, not less.
It's fine. We're gonna ask some questions. Let's go ahead. Okay, so our first question this week is going to be from I guess Poliwhirl. Apart from flying type, what has the least amount of monotypes?
Ooh.
The least amount of monotypes?
Flying is like obvious.
Yeah, it's
answer,
obviously
so
flying first.
They wanted the second. They wanted the second one.
So the types that have the least amount of Pokemon in general are like Ghost and Ice. So it might be one of them.
Ghost, Ice, and Fairy pop into my head, but I
Yeah,
think
there's
a lot
also Dragon really doesn't have a lot of monotypes at all.
no.
Like there's Dratini, Dragonair, Haxorus,
Dagon,
Draudigon.
Shogun.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot of, I think, mono dragons, but I don't think there are as many mono fairies, but I could be entirely wrong.
Well, there's Sylveon, the entire Gen 6 lines that's already for them. Then there's the Florges line. There's a lot of mono fairies in Gen 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's count out the mono ghosts and the mono eyes. Especially the mono eyes, I think there's not a lot of them. So
mono ice, you have, I can think of Cryogonal. I can think of Snorunt. I can think of Glalie.
yes.
Cubchoo and
Cubchoo
Beartic.
and Beartic, yes. I don't think anything that's new in Galar, like Galarian Mr. Mime, is like Psychic Eyes or something, right?
Yes.
So
I believe so.
so far I've gotten 6 because Snom is part bug. And wait, there's the Avalugg line, so there's 2 of them.
Yep, there's Avalugg there. I'm trying to think. In Gen 2, there's nothing new that's
Glaceon.
pure ice.
Glaceon makes it 9. And pure ice type.
We did all the Gen 3.
Yes.
Gen 4.
4, I can't think of anything except Glaceon.
That was Snowrunt. I mean, that was Snover and Abomasnow, but those are grass.
Yeah, exactly. Gen 5 had...
The Cryogonal Cubchoo.
Yes. Gen 6 had Avalugg. Gen 7 had... did Gen 7 have any pure ice types?
I don't think so.
I think Alolan Vulpix...
Oh, little Vulpix might... No, they're fairy, aren't they?
I'm gonna need an answer.
Okay, so...
I would go with ice. Let's just assume it's ice. And
how about ghosts, though?
You have Misdreavus, Mismagius.
Yeah, this Duskull line and...
Duskull, Shuppet.
Yeah, and then Ghost... Poltergeist. Yeah.
Poltergeist,
Let's go with ice.
Yeah.
Let's go with ice.
Ice is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is actually steel. There's only 11 steel types, mono steel types.
How many mono ice types are there?
Mono ice, well, you forgot about a lot of forms, like Alolan Vulpix, cast form, technically.
Oh, cast form.
Then you've got Snorunt, Glalie, Rudge Ice, Glaceon, Darumaka,
Oh, gosh.
Vanillite line.
Oh, yeah.
Cubchoo, Cryogonal, Bergmite, Ice-Q.
We forgot a lot of stuff.
11 pure steels?
Yeah, that is Galarian Meowth, Berserker, Mega Aggron, technically, Registeel, Clink Clang, Meltan, Melmetal, Q-Fenton, Copperasha.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yep, fun fact.
I could have sworn there were more.
There aren't. There just aren't. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I thought there were more. That's my bad.
All right, next question is going to be from, let's see, IP Cuts. Yep, that's a name. What is the only Pokemon that gets Sacred Sword via breeding?
Oh, I feel like I should know this.
Somebody in particular will be upset with you if you get it wrong.
Yes. So I think... So what can you breed it...
Some people say we're the same person.
What can you breed it down from? Because what gets it by level up, you know?
I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Just based off of what he said. So my guess is it would be like Aegislash, just because it's a sword and a shield. Which would then be what? Honedge gets it?
Yeah, but doesn't Aegislash get it by level up?
Oh, so would it not just be by breeding as well?
Like, I'm not sure. I'm just saying.
This is a Pokemon that doesn't get it via level up, but only gets it via breeding.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Who else would get it during
Breeding.
Okay, so then it's not Aegislash, because Aegislash I know learns it by level up. I thought the could also learn by breeding.
I'm pretty sure, how about Galarian Farfetch'd?
This Pokemon isn't in Sword and Shield. I'll give you that hint as well.
Okay, fine. We're not doing very well today.
This Pokemon is not in Sword and Shield.
What about... Does Samurott get it?
Oh, he might get it through breeding. Yes. Yes, because he probably didn't have, like... It was introduced in, like, Gen 5, and he was a Gen 5 starter. Yes. And he was totally referring to Osh, so yes, it's Oshawott.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of other things that I know have used, like, blade moves.
Yeah, no, it's Oshawott.
Is Oshawott your final answer?
If Claude is fine with it, it is.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, it is Oshawott. And the only way he gets it, fun fact, is by breeding with Smeargle.
Of course.
That is the only Pokemon that also learns it via egg move. So, well, I guess that was the question. Never mind. So, Oshawott, yeah. All right, that's 1 for 2. Our next question is your Pokedex entry, as always. This one is going to come from... let me double check to see if this person's already gotten it or not. They have not. They have been read. Okay, cool. So it's this other person. From Coil Builder, its Pokedex X entry states, with 4 linked brains, it's more intelligent than a supercomputer. It uses calculations to analyze its foes. I just read that for the first time, and I hope you know what the answer is.
Metagross.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is Metagross.
Metagross is correct. Metagross is the answer. So there you go. And some of those are easy, I think. Like, they have to, like, the Pokedex entries have to, like, walk a fine line. It's either, like, completely out there or it's very easy to tell. So the next question is a bonus. It has bonus point, or has a bonus point, so you get a possible total of 2 points because Ruby gave me no multiple point answers.
All right.
Will deal.
All right, this one's going to be from Night Mage. What are the only 2 Pokemon introduced after Gen 5 that can have no origin mark? What does that mean?
Oh, the origin mark is that little, like, the Alola flower or the Gen 6 Pentagon.
Okay, so there's 2 Pokemon that can have that.
So the first one that comes to mind is Magearna, because you can get it through Pokemon Home if you complete some stuff.
Yeah, that sounds about right. What about Melton and Melmetal? Do they get something?
Do they get something for Go?
Because you technically... But you catch them in... They can't get them. And I think you get them if you catch them, like, in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee from Go or something like that.
I don't know.
So, yeah, Magearna is probably right.
This is the first thing that popped into my head was...
Wait, is the question they cannot get them or they can not have them?
They can not have them. These are Pokemon that in current Gen 8 games cannot have a Galar
like they
mark.
can have them, but they can
have them, but
also
they can't.
not have them. Okay, so I think Magearna from Home is a excellent answer.
That's the first thing that comes into my mind, because I know you can get it if you complete their decks.
There's also, like, several Pokemon you can get as gifts from Home, though.
I mean, couldn't you technically make the argument then that, like, AZ's Floette may not have an origin?
Good point. You know what we should do? We should use the hint.
Yes, let's use the hint.
Please do. Okay, so these are Pokemon that can evolve, and because your train of thought is completely off.
Oh, well, never mind.
I would think about transferring Pokemon up.
Oh.
These are Pokemon that you could bring up from something like Gen 5, and then they would become a Gen 8 or a Pokemon that was introduced after that generation that would not have the proper mark.
Oh, okay. Alolan Raichu and Alolan Marowak?
Can you...
Same train of thought. You're wrong, but that's
I
train of thought.
think it would have to be in Gen 8, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because they would have to be in Gen 8.
They have to do in Gen 8, because that's technically correct, though. That is technically correct. So you know what? I'll give you the points for that if you want, because that's technically correct.
I'm trying to understand. So they would just have the wrong mark?
No, well, yeah, because like those. So if you transferred like a Pikachu from Gen 5 up to Alola and you evolved it, it wouldn't have the Clover.
No.
Yeah.
And so there's two that can do it in Sword and Shield, and I don't think the question specified Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
So it's Galarian Weezing and what's the other one that evolves from...
there's three answers then. Oh, the person was
because
wrong.
Weezing
Wow,
is,
Ribby, this
is
wasn't
the same?
fact checked. This wasn't fact checked, Ribby.
So that means Galarian Weezing. What else? What else has a split evolution?
this
so
wasn't
things
fact
that
checked.
can evolve without breeding them into their original form first.
I'll just give them to you because you guys. I'll give you 3 points now. You guys got 3
Sure.
points
Alright.
because you found loopholes to this person's question. So the answers he was looking for were Pokemon that were only available in Generation 8. But the answers are Mr. Rhyme and Sylveon. Actually, the Magearna, by the way, that you were talking about, does get a mark.
Oh,
Does
cool.
get the
Good to
Gen
know.
8 mark. So just a heads up. Magearna does get the Gen 8 mark, but you can bring up a Mime Junior. You can bring up a Mime Junior, and you can bring up an Eevee.
Yeah, but if you can bring up an Eevee, you can get
Won't
all
they
the
still-
evolutions.
I thought the question was, do they not have a mark at all?
These are all Pokemon introduced after Gen 5.
Oh, okay.
These are all Pokemon introduced after Gen 5. So Sylveon counts, and so does Mr. Rhyme. And I guess if they're all after Gen 5, you know what? I'll still give you the points because the question's confusing. It's fine. 3 points. So you guys are 5 for 5 technically, or 5 for 4.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Without getting most of the answers.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. Question number 5 is from we're gonna say Picolola form. What is what unevolved Pokemon has the highest base special defense?
Unevolved?
Unevolved.
Completely
Not fully
unevolved.
Not NFE,
is it not
unevolved.
just Chansey?
Is unevolved
Unevolved, not fully, not
Has not reached
fully
its
evolved.
full potential.
No,
Okay,
it
so-
never evolved in its life ever.
Oh, wait.
Okay, but that doesn't
No previous forms. No previous forms. So
That doesn't include single stage Pokemon.
no, doesn't
Okay,
include single
there you
stage
go.
Pokemon. There you go.
Oh, okay. So it has not evolved at all.
No.
All right. Happiny then shows up in my mind.
I mean, it is a baby Pokemon from Gen 4.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a decent answer, but also.
Let me think. What else has high special defense in the first form? Gosh.
Exactly, like ridiculously high. What has like ridiculously high special defense? Like,
Shuckle.
Okay, but that
I think of
doesn't
the
involve
I think of the
anything?
Chansey Blissey line.
Yes.
Very high. I mean Toxapex, but that's Marini then. Gosh.
Cordeli has a really high one, and
But it's evolved.
Then there's but I mean maybe Lilip has a really high one too. You know, I'm just trying to think.
that's her.
Maybe it doesn't jump like 100 base stat points when it evolves.
Huh. You have a point there.
So maybe something that
Let's see,
gained an evolution later, like some Gen 2
Deoxys
Pokemon.
defense might have a very high special defense. Just based
But it
off
doesn't
the
have an
name.
evolution. It doesn't have an evolution.
Yeah, Deoxys defense.
Yeah, but
It
it needs to have an evolution.
Oh, it needs to have an evolution. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
We excluded single stage Pokemon from the question.
All right, this is odd.
The answer will surprise you.
I bet.
What is very high special defense?
I mean, let's
I'm gonna need
define.
an answer. I'm gonna need an answer.
You know what? I'm
You're not
willing.
on the right train of thought. It's fine. Just give me an answer.
I'm willing to throw down even something like I don't know, Eevee or
The Sylveon? Oh no, Sylveon's evolved. Oh god. All right. Diancie, because Diancie can Mega Evolve.
that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Just give me an answer. I
dang
need
it.
an answer.
I thought I had.
I wanna say like either Eevee or Abra or
I
something like
don't
that.
think it's Eevee, but I don't know anything else.
I know it's not Eevee. How about something that's super special different? What's the pre-evolution of Mandibuzz?
Volibee.
Vullaby, yeah, whatever. We don't know, so we might as well just throw something. No, wait. Cosmog. I think it's Cosmog.
Well, let's go with it then.
Cosmog is incorrect. The answer is Mantike.
Oh, what?
Mantike has a base special defense of 120.
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Kidding me? That's
It's
amazing.
amazing. Base special defense of 120. It's the highest base stat of all uninvolved Pokemon and all baby Pokemon.
My gosh.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
I think
high.
my Diancie answer is still better because it evolves.
All right, but that gives you guys 5 points. That does change up the standings. I don't know. Claude, you could donate it to somebody, I guess. We'll say you could donate the points.
Let's give him to Shamu then, because he was supposed to be
here. Yeah, sure. Yeah, and it was my fault for having the show at a different time. We'll give them to Shamu. Okay, so there we go. We're going to go home. We're going to go sort this column. I mean, it doesn't matter because there's so many people tied for everything right now.
You get 5 points, and you get 5 points, and you get 5 points.
Right now, we have a 3-way tie for first place between Sublime, P. McGee, and Whimsicott with 11 points. In 4th place, we have Seth Vilo with 10. In 5th place, we have a 2-way tie between R. Sigma and Jushiro with 6. In 7th place, we have a 3-way tie between Linny and Scrawn and Dr. Shamu at 5, and Basket has yet to get on the board. That is it, though, for this week, guys. We're going to kick it on over to the topic after this short iTunes review is yelled at you. We will catch you over at the topic. Hey, guys, instead of the normal iTunes review today, I really want to do a little bit of self-promo. We're trying to make PUCL TCG mats, and we really want to know what kind of interest there is in this, so we actually have a form in the show notes for you guys today. If you're interested in that and you want to take a look at the art for that, if you would go ahead and click that Google form, we would be more than happy if you would fill it out. We just kind of want to get a head count if people would be interested in it, just because it's something that's really cool and really interesting, and it's something that we really want to do for the PUCL community. So if you're interested in that, please fill out the form. But let's kick it on over the topic if you don't want to be sold anything. And welcome to the topic. Our topic today is going to be, I guess, Gamechangers in Pokemon. Whimsicott wanted to do this, and I think it's a good one. We're going to talk about what we think was the biggest change in Pokemon, hands down, and why. Mm-hmm. And I know Whimsicott and I already disagree.
Yes.
A little bit. But because I personally think the thing that made modern day Pokemon is hashtag back in Gen 4 when they did the physical special split. I mean, that I think is the winner, because I think it took a lot of Pokemon that were garbage and useless before. Like, let's think about, my example for this is Gyarados. Gyarados was trash until this physical special split. It was 100% trash because it had this giant attack stat, okay special stat.
Yeah, my go-to is Hitmonchan, who had all these punches that were somehow special.
Yes.
Yes. And I think it really made a difference. I think it really made a difference, and because it made an even playing field for all Pokemon. You could have stat distribution. Like, stat distribution didn't destroy a Pokemon anymore as badly.
As badly, yes.
I still think there's some stat distributions that are just like, does Virizion need the same attack and special attack? Probably not. But there's things where it's just like you couldn't just completely destroy a Pokemon by being like, yeah, I put a high attack in this water type Pokemon.
Yeah.
Instead of a high special attack, and that way they could never utilize their stabs. I think that is probably one of the biggest game changers to the mechanics of Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
to date.
This is really all about Feraligatr, isn't it?
A little bit. A little bit.
I figured you out.
A little bit. Feraligatr was garbage until that happened, but Gyarados, I think, is a better example. I think Gyarados is by far a better example.
If you want to put it that way, fine. Look, I don't completely disagree with you, but the one I like best is abilities, because up until that point, every Pokemon that shared a type and a general leaning in stat distribution was almost the same, because Pokemon of the same type tend to get the same moves at the end of the day. So it meant that if you wanted to use a grass type with a high special defense, you were always going to use the same one.
Oh, yeah.
And then abilities came in and suddenly Pokemon were actually different from each other individually, which I think is amazing.
So I would go a step further and say nature. When we brought that in Gen 3.
What a competitive player. Right? What a competitive guy over here.
Because it just means...
Natures are the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, you can
you're
now
not wrong. You're
choose.
Not wrong.
Like, it gave a Pokemon a personality, too.
I mean, I would argue if we're just talking in terms of like which generation really shook Pokemon the most, I would definitely agree with you guys and say Gen 3. Because Gen 3 really shook up that was where they like laid like the hard foundation for competitive Pokemon, like modern competitive Pokemon. Because that's when we got all the stats redistributed.
Yep.
And that's when we got modern day concept of the EV and IV, which were both good. Natures, like you said, because that helped you tune the Pokemon a little bit further. Like I really like the concept of EVs. I wish they were more transparent when they were revealed. Same with Natures a little bit too. Like I really like having the red and blue colors that we have on Natures nowadays.
Yeah.
I wish that would have happened back then. Just because you'd be like, oh, something must be going on with that stat, and then we could have at least linked it to Natures at some point with our brains. That would have been interesting. I understand they like to keep things like somewhat hidden because then you feel like, oh, I'm just training my Pokemon. You know what I mean? And I think that was the original concept until they decided to make a competitive scene. Like I would say up until like Gen 4, they were pretty much just like, yeah, it's just a way to like train your Pokemon, blah blah blah, and they put mechanics in to do that in the background.
Yes.
I mean, because that was the way it worked in Gen 1 was essentially, oh, if I train my Pokemon... Because there's that NPC that says, oh, I train my Pokemon against this to make it better battling them.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat true. I mean, it was more that if you battled Snorlax, you became a Snorlax.
Yes.
But it's on that same like frame. But I think laying that foundation, like with natures and abilities and EVs, like that generation did the most. Like by far, like without Gen 3, as much as like we like to give it poop for not being like the best generation ever.
And for not having enough water.
I love it.
I honestly, it's grown on me a lot, especially since Oraz. Like, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that's just because like maybe the last two generations haven't been really my cup of tea and have shown me like some of the, I don't know if I want to say have like revealed cracks in like the Pokemon formula, but more so of just, I know it's been semi-consensus in the community that like Sun and Moon and maybe not Sun and Moon, maybe Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and Sword and Shield, like were I don't want to say letdowns, but they weren't as good as people would expected them to be. Oh, and
yes.
I don't know. I didn't have that feeling about X and Y. Like I would say X and Y had similar amounts of content to Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon. Well, it had similar amounts of content to Sun and Moon. And I would say I was not disappointed with that at all. Like I was 100% happy with what X and Y were. And I don't think I think it's honestly just because it feels more like an adventure. The pacing is really cool. I really like the pacing in X and Y.
Yeah, it's weird because it feels good even though you have like a vast chasm between the first and the second gym.
Yes. I love that. That's actually my favorite part. I like legitimately, because one of the things I really like about playing a Pokemon game is that it feels like it's something fun to play through. Like I would like in terms of immersion, having those not notable NPC encounters, I think is important to world building and immersing me into the Pokemon game. And I think having that giant spacing between like the first gym where they're just like, hey, you're on this journey to get all your badges, and then you have forever until the second gym. So like I know I'm on my gym challenge. Like I know I'm on it, but then somebody's like, hey, could you go get my Furfuru for me? And I'm like, yeah, I am all about that life.
Yes.
And then they're just like, hey, you got to get this Snorlax. Here's a throwback to Gen 1.
I love when they throw in like the random side quest that you had to do.
Yeah. Like I think I miss that. I miss having those little things. And I think I think X and Y, it built a lot of life. It built a lot of life into Pokemon for me. And I think that's something that we were missing both to an I think Sun and Moon, mostly because like as a person who plays more D&D than the normal person, Sun and Moon is the equivalent of like a railroaded adventure. For the most part. I mean, there's a couple places where you can go off the rails, but not a lot. Because I think the worst thing that happened to Sun and Moon was literally the flag on the bottom of the screen telling me where to go. like when I played it at first, I was like, oh, cool, this is new. But in retrospect, I think that was the worst thing because it was just like, oh, now I know where to go all the time.
Yeah.
And I can't accidentally like stumble off the path.
Exactly. Even if there's like a cool area that I can explore, I'm not even going to see it because...
Yeah, exactly.
You have to go follow a certain path that they wanted you to.
I mean, well, the same was true for me in Sword and Shield. I didn't have the flag, obviously. But what I had was, like, Route 5 comes to mind. Route 5 in Sword and Shield is 100% what I think of when I think of I could have gone off the path, but the game really wants me to go in a particular direction. And so I just didn't even see it. There's an entire like side path you can go on Route 5, by the way. And I didn't find it until I beat the game.
Which one's Route 5?
The one with the Farfetch'd.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's the one with the Farfetch'd and like the breeding center on it.
The Applin and yeah.
Yeah. And there's like the bridge and everything. Yeah. So there's like a little section you can go down and there's a bunch of trainers you can battle. And I didn't even know that was there.
Wow.
Until I beat the game.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that was there.
Amazing.
So, yeah, I completely missed it.
No, I think, yes, this is definitely a factor. But to me, the real feeling, like, looking at it now, is that the games up until X and Y came out when Game Freak wanted them to be out. And then it didn't happen again.
You're not wrong. Like, I mean, I think it was when we did the simultaneous releases. I think that's really it. I would even say X and Y probably came out when Game Freak wanted it to come out.
Yeah.
Just because that was the last release of a Pokemon game we had, not for Black Friday. Like that was the last not the Friday before Black Friday release. And so there's probably some truth to that. I wouldn't disagree that Nintendo might be breathing down their necks.
Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if somebody were to tell me like, yeah, Papa Nintendo's been breathing down our necks and this is what we're getting, because they see it as a console seller, which I think was honestly I think that was the biggest thing that affected both Sword and Shield and even Let's Go. Like maybe the fact that Let's Go even existed with Papa Nintendo, because they're just like, we want a Pokemon game out. Maybe Masuda's not even like the person that you should blame. Maybe it's Ishihara, you know, because he's the president of TPCI who guides the development and stuff like that. And so maybe he was like, hey, we want to put out a game. I could totally see Masuda not being happy that Let's Go exists. I could 100% see him not being happy that it exists.
I mean, it would be fair.
And the reason he was the producer was because he wanted to fall on that sword and not let anybody else fall on it. Like, I could 100% see that being the case.
Oh, yeah.
Because my favorite thing is still when they asked if there's any future Let's Go games in the works, because people liked it. And he said, well, if people liked it, they should tell me. Like, he said that during an interview.
Wow, shots fired.
He did that during an interview for the Sword and Shield release. One, I don't know if that was just him being coy, but two, I don't think the Let's Go format really fits anything but Gen 1 really well. Because you start coming out with other things, like, because like Gen 1 works the way it does because it didn't introduce any of those mechanics. But Gen 2, like, one of the big things was, hey, we came out with holdable items, guys.
Yeah. Oh wow, I forgot about that.
And they took that away in Let's Go. Like you can't remake Gen 2 and be like, no hold items.
Yeah.
You
can't do that. You can't do that because like Gen 2 is just full of hold items. I
mean, can you even breed in Let's Go? I don't remember.
No, you can't.
See, that's the other big thing about Gen 2. You can't have it.
Yeah, you can't have that. And like, what's the point then? I'm very like, it's a huge problem.
By the way, breeding, huge game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just so far back that we don't even think about it.
I wouldn't say breeding in the form. Well, I think it's mostly because breeding in like the original form, not so much. Just because like we didn't have the stats like we used to.
Yeah.
And even then, like Gen 3 breeding kind of sucked.
It wasn't terrible, but it was something.
I mean, honestly, breeding sucked up until Gen 6, and then it became awesome. But
yes,
the thing is,
until Destiny Not, it was awful.
Maybe it didn't change the competitive game so much, but oh wow, suddenly I don't have to play through the game 3 times to get all 3 of the evolutions in my game.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's true. That's true. I agree that from like a playthrough perspective, breeding was really good. I think egg moves are also a really nice thing.
Yeah.
Like those aren't bad. And like, I all for all the time, all of the quality of life improvements they've made. Like, I think Sword and Shield is like the penultimate, like, quality of life minus like a rusty bottle cap to like make IV 0.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think we're missing at this point is make an IV 0.
That's the only thing I'm worried about too, by the way. Like, I'm a little worried about that because like Game Freak likes to take away things between games. And like, we've got this really, really good like competitive build up thing that we can do, even though you can't really play competitive 6v6 singles.
Exactly. That was going to be my next point. Like, they already took away my ability to essentially play Pokemon on cartridge.
It's very sad. I mean, it's made me adapt because like I've learned Battle Stadium singles and I've been playing more VGC than I think I ever have.
I guess, but like, look at me.
No. 6v6 I think is the best way to play. And if they supported a 6v6 format officially,
it would be.
I think
great.
it would be incredibly more popular. I mean, you can even see that just by looking at the Battle Stadium singles versus the VGC VGC ladders. If you look at the number of people who have played Battle Stadium singles versus VGC, it's way more people have played Battle Stadium singles.
Okay, to be fair, VGC is way harder.
I would say it's harder, but I would say
it's so much easier this gen though.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
it's not.
I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would.
It's better than it's been in the past.
I want to get into it, but I'm not gonna get into VGC from scratch. So, Battle Spot singles is like Battle Stadium singles. Sorry. It's almost
it's
like the baby version of 6 versus 6.
It is.
It is.
I can kind of get into that from Smogon OU, but I don't have the kind of time to commit to learning VGC. So I'm stuck with Battle Stadium singles, which is a diminished version of the game that I love. I would love to get into VGC, but I don't have the time to do that.
Like I said, I think honestly, if they had a 6v6 singles format that was like the official format for Pokemon, I think you'd have way more players showing up than you would for VGC.
Oh,
I think
100%.
you would. I understand why they do VGC to an extent. At least originally they were doing it for speed.
Yeah.
I mean it's a slightly different game as well than singles, but they were doing it for speed, and you can do best 2 out of 3. Like, doing best 2 out of 3 in a 6v6 singles is a nightmare, and it should never be attempted.
It helps take away from some of the RNG and hacks that goes on.
Yeah, but honestly, like, if they were to just do it without, and like leave the RNG and hacks in, I think some of the biggest like reactions I've ever seen at like live VGC events are when those things happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And could you imagine somebody who's just like the underdog makes it to the finals and they get like a good flinch or something and then they win it all? Like that, it's Pokemon, guys. We're not Fortnite.
I don't know that I would be completely excited about that. I think what I get excited about when I watch VGC is when the player is backed into a corner, but he knows his win condition is that flinch and he goes for it, because that shows it's not like I'm relying on luck because I can't play. It's because I have been so far outplayed, but it is within the game that I know so well.
It is my only chance back.
It is my chance, and I'm good at Pokemon, so I see it. So I go for it.
I think you can still do that in a singles format, though. You can still have that exact
You
same
absolutely
thing.
can.
Oh yeah, you do.
But it's more immediate in VGC.
Yeah, yes. I think it would be really cool to, like, honestly, if I were TPCI, what I would be looking into, and I'm not TPCI because I'm Thatch and they don't listen. Well, they listen to this podcast and then they do the opposite. So, so what I would do is I would run a singles at the same time as a VGC.
Yes.
I would do that. Like, maybe start with Battle Stadium singles right now and run it alongside, because I think if you want to increase your numbers of people participating, one, I think doing it online like they are right now is a great first step. Like, I am super hyped for that, minus the invitational that exists.
Nothing's perfect.
Yeah, I like that. They took something perfect and made it and blemished it, but that's okay. That's fine. They bruised the apple. But
Poor Applin.
Yeah.
Poor Applin.
So outside of that, it's done very well. But I think if you really want to do it, you should offer both. I think if there is really that much of a difference between the two, you'll see somebody like you take the one that's going to give you bigger numbers, in my opinion, right? If one starts to overtake the other, you take the one with the bigger numbers. I mean, that's what happened recently in, I believe, last year with Denver regionals. They didn't see a point to running a VGC regional. Yeah. They just ran TCG. They didn't even have a VGC regional at that one. It was just a TCG regional because TCG brings in a way bigger number than VGC.
Oh yeah.
Like way bigger. It's on the order of like 7 to 10 times every time.
Yeah, but as you said, now that they have shown that there is a possibility of going online, it doesn't matter if you have too many people. You can have 2 events run in parallel all the times you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get more Twitch views. You'll get more people playing. It's
whoa!
Be
Twitch
great.
views you're not gonna get until you enable. For some reason, it's not spectator mode
online. Exactly. Yeah, I know
that needs to happen. That hands down needs to happen.
I'm really
the fact
hoping
that
they just bring it out for like the Pokemon Play tournament.
Well, they're not. So that's the whole reason they're doing this invitational thing. So the reason they're doing the invitational isn't because they're just like, haha, we want Wolf Glick in the finals or something like that. It's because they're going to put together 8 people in a room with a capture card, and they're going to record them playing the games so they have content of people doing competitive Pokemon. Literally no other reason.
So essentially, the whole entire thing we've been discussing for the past 10 minutes comes down to the real game changer would be Nintendo and the Pokemon Company getting some reliable servers.
Yes, that's the next game changer, right? I think that's the next game changer.
You have to think like Gen 6, they brought in Megas which was a big game changer. You had Z Crystals.
I think I'm not a fan of like Z Crystals and Dynamax. I don't like that. I liked Megas. I thought Megas was a really cool shakeup. But at some point, I want them to rely on the new Pokemon they put in there as a shakeup, as opposed to a gimmick.
Yeah.
Like Mega's fantastic idea. I think that that's the OG quote unquote gimmick, and it should just be perpetuated throughout Pokemon. Because I don't think there's a reason that we need to be like, oh, well, we need a thing to change up battles this gen. I don't think we need that. TPCI, listen, please, this time. And I don't think we need that. I think I'd much rather see them lean more heavily on Pokemon themselves than, hey, this Pokemon's good when it holds this Z Crystal.
Yeah. I
mean, they started to do that. Like, you saw how much they brought in terrains last gen, and they're emphasizing a lot more of it this gen.
So it's in there because of Dynamax, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, you have 1 terrain center per terrain right now. Outside of Dynamax.
Yeah, but like eventually we're gonna get the Tapus back, and
that's
Crown
terrifying
Tundra.
To me. I'm not a fan of that, but we can talk about that another time.
Like, these are all like little game changers that make a huge difference. The fact that terrain can just be set.
Yeah. No,
and they're emphasizing a lot more of that with Dynamax and hopefully the new move Terrain Pulse.
I'd rather do that though. I'd rather focus on terrains and terrain setting abilities.
Yes. Than
Dynamax setting terrains. Like that's my argument.
Oh, I completely agree.
I'm not against that. I think Dynamax is dumb gimmick. It's kind of fun. Like it feels good, especially in game. It feels really good when you're doing a playthrough.
Yeah.
But I don't think from a competitive standpoint, I'm super excited about it. I'd much rather have like a season, like a year of VGC where it's like no Megas, no Dynamax, no Z Crystals, just the Pokemon.
Ooh.
And I think that would, I mean, they kind of did that. Not this year in VGC 20, but in VGC 19, where they split the season up and they said no Megas this one, no Z Crystals this one, and then they like eased everything in. I thought that was really cool, and I really like that because I think Megas are honestly the mechanic they should like put their chips on.
Yeah.
I think they're relatively balanced. Yeah, there's some good ones. Yeah, there's some bad ones, but for the most part, I think they're all usable, and with the exception of Mega Garchomp. But.
I mean, it's usable, not if you want to go anywhere with it, but...
You need a niche for it.
It's like you already had a Garchomp. Why did you ruin it? But...
Well, they knew if they made Garchomp better, it'd be way too broken.
Oh, yeah. I think that was a really good way to do it. Like, I thought Mega Garchomp was the way you give a Mega Evolution to a Pokemon like Garchomp, And I thought Mega Tyranitar was done very well. But then you see stuff like Mega Metagross and Mega Salamence.
And Mega
it's like, no, and Mega Lopunny's fine.
Yeah.
Because Lopunny's garbage without it.
You're right.
And then it's good.
Mega Mawile.
Really good.
Mega Mile's a good idea. But like Metagross is like, I'm good. And then they're just like, let's make it broken.
Exactly.
Same with Mega Salamence. Hey, this is good. Let's make it broken.
Yeah.
And those are the
Blaziken.
two big examples. Blaziken's another. Well, Blaziken was a problem of its own before that happened, but but yeah, Blaziken's something else that's just like, well, does it really need that good of a Mega? I would even argue Mega Swampert to an extent, but no, Swampert's pretty garbage without Mega Swampert, so never mind. I'm okay with
Swampert's
it.
really good.
But there's only like 3 or 4 where I'm like, this is really gross. You know what I mean? And I think it's a really good place to like. I want them to cash their chips in on that and be like, hey, let's give some Pokemon some like spotlights.
Yes,
You know, because Gen 4 and Gen 2 are still feeling the pain.
Yeah.
and the random Mega Audino.
Yeah, random Mega Onno. Gen 6 doesn't have anything like that either. Gen 6 doesn't even have Dynamax now. So thanks Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Gen 6 is
it's
out
true. The only I mean, this is another problem I have with Dynamax, and at least like, I mean, if we'll end here so that I don't go on too long a rant, but like the Gen 1 pandering's been pretty bad with these mechanics as well. Minus Z Crystals. Z Crystals was really good. It was really balanced, gave everybody some love. I mean, there were some specific species specific Z Crystals that aren't Como-O are garbage. So
The Tapunium Z has its niche.
yeah, so like, but like those were pretty even. But like, you look at a lot of the Megas in Gen 6, it's pretty heavy Gen 1.
Oh yeah.
It's also pretty heavy Gen 3, but that's for other reasons. So like Gen 1 and Gen 3 got like lots of love. Then you look at Dynamax, and Dynamax just like sticks out like a sore thumb. Because right now, if you look, or Gigantamax, not Dynamax.
Yeah.
Gigantamax is Gen 8 Pokemon, Gen 1 Pokemon, and Garbodor.
And Garbodor.
Is that really it?
That is it. Yeah, look it up. It's Gen 1. It's like 50% Gen 1 Pokemon, 50% Gen 8 Pokemon, and Garbodor.
No.
It's like one Pokemon for each type, and then you add Toxtricity. Oh, Melmetal exists too, I guess
Melmetal,
technically, but
but
it's not out. It's not released.
Wow, it is Gen 1, Gen 8, and then
Garbodor. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Garbodor is only there because someone was a really big fan of Katamari Damacy. So.
Yes.
yeah, 100%.
Yes. 100%. But yes, I just hope they don't continue that. I hope they don't continue that, but we'll see. That is it for the topic today, though. And we're going to kick it on over to the Pokemon of the episode. So we will catch you guys on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
And welcome to the Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 435, a Skuntank, the skunk Pokemon.
Yeah. Its Pokemon Shield Pokedex entry is, it digs holes in the ground to make its nest. Its stench of its fluid lets it fly from the tip of its tail. It's extremely potent. I did not read that right.
It's fine. It's a Skuntank.
Yep.
It's a Skuntank. It's okay. It's bulky.
Yeah, it's fun.
And its typing's not bad. It's not a bad typing. One weakness. And it's to ground. And in VGC, there's not that many high horsepowers flying around anymore.
Nope.
There are a couple with
There's a couple, but like
Excadrill.
it's a choice.
Yes.
It's a choice. So just throwing that out there. It's otherwise it's pretty cool. So today we have a team that Claude has been running for VGC.
Yeah.
So we'll break it down. Claude, just tell us about Skuntank and its role that it plays in this team.
So this team was built entirely around Skuntank because it has a bunch of fun supporting moves that people just don't expect. So from that, we started off with Skuntank. Has the ability Aftermath, so in case you happen to take down the Skuntank, you can still deal some damage. It holds an Assault Vest. It has the moves Foul Play, Acid Spray, Sucker Punch, and Snarl. So it has priority, it can lower other special attacks, and it can lower special defense. And the fun part about it is that it lives a lot of hits, and people do not expect it, which is great. And people don't know what to do about it. And they think, oh, it's a Skuntank. That's not the threat on the field, when really it is always the threat. I've had many games where they target the other Mons, and then the Skuntank just wins the game.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the
They're just
fun
like,
part.
it's not the threat. It's not the threat. It's not the Skuntank.
Well, it's especially dangerous when you pair it up with something like Duraludon, that we also have. Holding the Life Orb's stalwart ability with Draco Meteor, Flash Cannon, Dark Pulse, and Thunder. And the way these two work together is that Duraludon's speed is 1 less than Skunktank's in this build. So that way Skuntank always goes before it, hits Acid Spray, lowers someone's special defense by 2 stages, and then you Dynamax Duraludon, Life Orb, attack, and something just falls. And half the time they're like, what just happened?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This looks fun.
Oh, it is super fun.
Like a lot of fun. So in order to support this really cool core of Skuntank and Duraludon, they just threw together some, generic good VGC stuff because you don't really need anything except Skuntank and Duraludon.
Yes.
So the first member of the team besides this two is Sylveon. It has Pixelate and it's holding a Pixie Plate because its only 2 attacking moves, as usual, are Hyper Voice and Quick Attack, because that priority might come in clutch someday. It also has Protect and Helping Hand in case someone needs to die even harder.
Yep.
And on the other side of the field, sometimes, I guess, is a Dragapult. It has Clear Body, it's holding Weakness Policy, and it has Dragon Dart, which is so cool in VGC, I adore it. Phantom Force, Protect, and Fly. And it's obviously one of your Dynamax candidates.
Yeah. There's a lot of Dynamax candidates.
Yeah.
You even have that Quick Attack from the Sylveon to hit the Dragapult for Weakness Policy.
For Weakness Policy, yes.
Wait.
That is so cool.
Yeah, because Pixelate. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
It makes it a Fairy type, but Sylveon's attack stat is crap. So it's
Yes.
either using it to pick off something that was left on a Focus Sash, or it's using it to charge up the Weakness Policy on Dragapult without actually hurting it, which is really amazing.
Yeah. So we also have just Lumberry Gyarados, which I think is probably the scariest version of Gyarados in VGC.
Ooh, yes.
Because then it can't be statused for one. It misses a status, so it can just Dynamax without any issues. And I mean, Waterfall, Bounce, Power Whip, and Stone Edge, these are all really good moves, so it can set terrain, weather, and get a speed boost. Like, I mean, it's a Gyarados, and it's going to do Gyarados things.
Yeah, Gyarados is your anti-weather on the team.
Yeah, it's a Gyarados, and it's going to do Gyarados things with Stone Edge. I did not realize it got Stone Edge.
Oh yeah, it's had that since Gen 4.
I did not realize that until today. That is amazing. This is a good... I'm a fan of this. I've always been a fan of Bounce as well. Just like Bounce Gyarados.
Yes. Well, it's the max airstream to,
Max
boost your team
Airstream, yes.
speed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, last gen I used to run Gyarados all the time, just with the Z Crystal, and it was just a good time. You run like Dragon Dance, you get the speed boost, and then you just run Train with Moxie, and then Conkeldurr. This Conkeldurr is again pretty standard Conkeldurr. It's Drain Punch, Stone Edge, Protect, Mach Punch with Guts and a Flame Orb. It's a Conkeldurr. Yay! I don't know what else to say.
Generic Conkeldurr is generic.
The Tyranitar Excadrill matchup's a little iffy with this team just because its Skuntank is weak to ground.
But it's also Conk. Yeah, it's just Conk.
Yeah, but you have a Gyarados.
Yes.
You have a Gyarados.
If you dodge a Rock Slide, you're golden.
Yep.
Even if you don't, Intimidate, it's more than enough to...
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it works. It works really well.
Yeah.
This team looks fun. I'm gonna run it later.
Yeah.
We should do a stream and like stream a ladder session with it.
Gladly.
We should do that.
And you know what you should do when you win? You should greet, like, say bye to people by saying "smell you later." Because
Yes.
Sorry, that was bad.
If you want this team, it's going to be on the Discord. You can try it out yourself, and then maybe Claude and I will get together this week and we'll stream some of it.
Oh,
So,
great.
yeah, it'll be good. So on that note, though, guys, thanks for that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to kick things on over to the mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails!
and welcome to the Mailbag. The Mailbag is a segment where you can send in your emails to puclpodcast@gmail.com, and maybe they'll be read on the show, more than likely, because we don't get a lot of emails anymore, and I don't know why. So just send them in, puclpodcast@gmail.com. We usually have a prompt. Last week, we asked you what your favorite evil team was in Pokemon, and hopefully we're going to read your responses here. Also, this segment, as always, is brought to you by Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
You missed your chance, Claude.
Sorry, I forgot this was a thing.
It's always the first time hiccups, let me tell you. And so we're going to go ahead and get through some of these emails, though. Last week, like we said, we asked you who your favorite villain was, and we got this first one from Trainer Sleeves. Go for it, Claude.
Hello, PUCL Podcast. It's me, Sleeves, back again. I'm here to talk about my favorite Pokemon villain team and whether I thought they were successful. Personally, my favorite is Team Skull. I know they're not the main villain of the Sun and Moon games, but if they cause trouble to the player and have team in their name, then I guess they count. I love how they are the perfect mix between actually causing trouble, cough team, and being absolutely ridiculous. There are some lines from Team Skull that I distinctly remember laughing at. Like that one time a grunt was trying to steal berries and started a berry rap saying he would nanab them. Part of my love for Team Skull is also due to Guzma being perhaps my favorite Gen 7 character. He's one of those characters that is both easy to meme and is actually a well-written character with depth. I could start rambling about his entire backstory, but long story short, he was a kid who had a dream and he never managed to complete to the fullest, such as getting only bronze and silver golfing trophies, and being a strong trainer, but not getting a spot as a trial captain. I also love how he wanted to make a home for himself and other Pokemon in the same boat as him, even if it was done in the way that it was. Anyways, that'll wrap up my email. Also, I've been really enjoying your Fire Red Let's Play series, and I'm in love with the various personalities you've given you guys Pokemon. Bertrand asked me to give a message to Thatch. Please love me, Father. I do everything you ask of me, please. Anyways, catch you guys in the flip-flop. Trader Sleeves.
I really like the Fire Red playthrough as well.
Yes,
for what
so
it's
do I.
worth.
I just want to point out, Sleeves, spoilers for the YouTube playthrough of Fire Red.
Yeah.
I made the exact same joke when we were recording the other day.
That's true. That is true.
I guess it's a universal feeling. Poor Bertrand.
Okay, so it's like the problem with Bertrand, the war turtle from the Fire Red Nuzlocke, is just that Bertrand is the answer is he's too consistent.
Yeah.
He what he does like slightly above average. But you know what? Scout's in there doing things like way above average, just crushing things.
You know what I hate? I hate when my Pokemon are consistent.
You gotta praise the ones that are going above and beyond. Bertrand's just like, look at all this coverage I have, and it's like, try hard.
I miss Claw.
I hit 7 mega punches in a row. Oh, I guess that's nice. Thanks for not missing them.
I can't even, Thatch. Terrible father that you are.
Oh, thank you for that email, though, Lily.
Anyway.
Yeah, this next one is from Eve.
Okay, I've got this one. Eve says, "Hey, kings and queens, or whatever royal address you might prefer. For last week's question, my favorite teams are absolutely Team Rocket and Yell. I wouldn't say either of them are at all successful at anything, but charming my socks off and having memorable members. But that's fine. There's something awesomely straightforward about Bond-style organized crime and teenage street gangs in the Pokemon world. You also asked, I think, for stories. So here's one, and I'll try to keep it as brief as I can. When I was a kid, my mom got a job that required her to take most of the summer of '99 touring Southeast Asia. And she took me with her. On our way to the first stop, Jakarta, I think, we stopped at Narita, and we passed a shop that had some Pokemon plushies. She told me to pick
there's
one.
a Pokemon Center in Narita.
Narita Airport, yes.
If you're in it wasn't in. I was very upset because it wasn't in the terminal that I was in.
Oh.
I was very upset because we were just like, oh, let's hit one more before we go home. And we get to Narita and we're looking for the Pokemon Center and we're in Terminal 3 and we're like, God, it's in Terminal 2.
No.
You didn't have enough time?
Well, so the way they have it set up in Narita is Terminal 3 is separated from the other two. So like you'd have to get out, go back through security, and then come back out and go through security.
Oh, that's awful.
That sucks.
Granted, the security in Japan is a little easier to deal with than the security in the US.
I can believe it.
Like their TSA equivalent is much quicker to go through.
Anyway, she told me to pick one, and to my delight, I found my favorite, which was and is Mew. We got back on the plane, I fell asleep with my new body in my arms, we got off the plane. 2 minutes after we exited, I realized falling asleep cuddling Mew instead of putting it in my bag had been a mistake. Groggy and jet-lagged, I'd forgotten it, and the staff refused to let us go back to get it.
No.
We were going back to Japan, so it was replaceable, but I felt like an underappreciative idiot. I was inconsolable. My mother made multiple calls to the airline explaining that it was very important that we find a small pink stuffed cat, and still jokes about it to this day. Her efforts paid off though, and on the 3rd day we went to the airport where a bunch of staff had gathered to watch me take my beloved Mew off the conveyor belt. Oh my god!
Oh, that's great.
Horrible.
I was overjoyed, and to commemorate the whole thing, we made a point of taking photos of Mew at every attraction we stopped at and event we saw, including one of it watching the Parahara, which you should totally Google. I haven't Googled it in advance. We'll do it next time. It still has a place of honor in my room where I can see it all the time. And that's my story. Stay safe, babes. Eve. That is an adorable story.
This is the example of like a great email, by the way. It had nothing to do with the prompt, but it was still fantastic. If you have anything like this, guys, please send it.
Yes.
We love feeling
great.
Warm and cuddly. We love feeling warm and cuddly. It's just a good story. Pokemon's affected so many people's lives in so many different ways. And it's just really cool hearing your story and how it's affected yours. Maybe that should be the mailbag prompt.
Yeah.
How has Pokemon changed your life or affected your life?
Let us know.
Let us
I
know.
love
Send
that.
it in. puclpodcast@gmail.com. There's your mailbag question. How has Pokemon affected your life?
Woo!
Let us know. puclpodcast@gmail.com. I'm super excited for the responses.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a really cool mailbag prompt.
I'll actually listen to it.
Claude.
The problem is the cycle of the people that skip this segment all the time. They're not going to hear about how awesome this prompt is.
Yeah.
And they're not going to listen. So on that note, though, I think I'm very excited. Thank you for these emails. As always, send them in, puclpodcast@gmail.com. And let's see. I guess this has been a really fun day. This has been a good episode.
Yeah.
I've been happy with it.
I've had fun.
So if you want to keep up the Puckle goodness throughout your week, you can always go to our Discord, which is in the show notes, as always. Please join that. As always, please go to check out our social media as well. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I did take a picture of the Lugia pen holder, but I only posted it to Discord. So maybe one day it'll make it to Instagram.
Thatch, speaking of things you keep forgetting, does Eve already have the Green Taurus badge?
I don't know. If she doesn't, she should get it.
Oh, she gets it now.
She gets it. Yeah, definitely. And then if you want to, you can always go support the show in a lot of different ways. One, go to our YouTube channel. Check out this Fire Red Nuzlocke that I'm so excited about.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I love this so much. This is my favorite thing I've ever done for YouTube, like specifically for YouTube. This is my favorite thing. I've done a lot of things for YouTube over the years where you've all have dashed my hopes and dreams. And this one is the one that I don't care what you say. Because I'm having a good time doing it. I really like it.
What's the plan? Like Fire Red, Heart Gold, Soul Silver?
Yeah. The plan's to go through generations. I haven't decided if we're going to do a quote-unquote Whimsicott.
Oh, we're doing the Whimsicott.
Where we just take like the end game party and we say you can't use those Pokemon anymore. I really like that idea because then it forces there can't be like, let's say unfortunately he didn't make it, but let's say Claude the Paris would have made it to the Elite Four. There's no way we're repeating Claude the Paris, right?
I mean, the original original Whimsicott says there can be no Paras again ever.
Yeah, but my rules are different.
You can twist it however you want.
Yeah, I'm calling this a generation lock. I like the Elite Four better anyway. Type deal, because some games do repeat really heavy. Like the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2 is a really heavy like repeat cycle.
Yeah.
And so I don't like that idea. I like the idea of just like the Hall of Fame members not making it to the next game.
That makes a lot of sense.
And I like that. And I'm very excited because my plan is I'm fully intend to get all of like the whole team when we're done, just like commissioned with like generic trainer, because the generic trainer embodies all of us here at Puckle. Because it's Puckle plays Fire Red, not Thatch plays.
Yeah.
It's Puckle plays. And I really like that. It's just a fun concept, and I really like doing it. So please go check out the YouTube, youtube.com/PucklePodcast. Check out Twitch at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. I haven't been streaming for the past couple of weeks, mostly just because I've been gearing up and going back to work and fixing my schedule back to normal. But I plan to get back to it this week. I don't know if we're going to keep doing raid nights like we have been. We'll probably still do them, but I really want to do a Nuzlocke just with the Twitch community at Puckle. So it'll be like the Puckle plays, but it'll be with the Twitch community. So coming over, twitch.tv/thepuklepodcast. Get to nickname a couple guys. Something semi-appropriate.
Yes.
So, the Coliseum playthrough has taught me differently. So on that note, though, I really appreciate that. A few other ways to help us out monetarily. You can always subscribe to us on Twitch with your Twitch Prime membership or with real money. But if you're going to use real money anyway, I'd still say go over to Patreon. Patreon.com/PucklePodcast, where you can get shiny Pokemon and a bunch of other cool things. The other thing that you could do is go to TeePublic, buy anything there. It helps support the show. And the final thing is you can go over to Vite Ramen at viteramen.com and use code Puckle for 10% off at checkout, and that should help us out as well. On those notes, though, I think that's everything. And I've been Trainer Thatch.
I have been the Fluffiest Whimsicott.
And I've been Clod9.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.